Hey guys, welcome back. It's Krystal. So today I have a review and demo on the new Covergirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation. I purchased mine from Amazon and the other one from Walgreens. So the one from Amazon that I got was number 710 Classic Ivory. I've been using this one, but I felt like the color was off. With most CoverGirl or drugstore foundation, it's very hard to find a light yellow undertone. So obviously I had not seen these in person, and I kind of just went with a shade that I normally go with CoverGirl, and that's Classic Ivory. But normally Classic Ivory is a little bit too pink on me, and that was the case with this one. So I did go to Walgreens and I did find them there, and I ended up picking this one, which is Buff Beige number 725. This one definitely has more of a yellow undertone, so it's a little bit dark, but I can mix it with a white foundation mixer to make it work. So I feel like this color is better. I just have to lighten it a little bit. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to use this shade on its own today. Hopefully it won't be too light. I've probably put a light concealer under my eyes and a little bit on the other areas of my face. But yeah, there was a big price difference, $8.99 from Amazon, and the one from Walgreens, I think it was $12.99. It was expensive compared to the one from Amazon. So I have not seen these in Walmart yet, but I'm sure eventually they will get it. And I'm sure the price would probably be more like the Amazon, which is like $8.99. Walmart's usually a lot cheaper than like Ulta or like Walgreens or CVS. So this foundation, it says that it has an SPF of 20. Lightweight, full coverage makeup. This formula hydrates and includes a complex of SPF 20 vitamins and antioxidant, and it's oil free. So I've been testing this out for quite a while. I will say I love the packaging. I think it's so like nice for drugstore. I love that the cap's see-through. I like the gold right there. It's just really pretty drugstore packaging. So when they came out with this, I was super excited. I don't wear matte foundations as much as I used to, and if I do wear matte foundations, I like to use like an illuminizer underneath it to give it a little bit more radiance or luminosity. So this one claims to hydrate but be full coverage, so I thought they sounded perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply it. I'm gonna do one side with a brush, one side with the beauty blender. I've already used this several times, so I already know my thoughts about it. So I'm just gonna take one bowl pump. So there's the consistency of it right there. And I will give you a little swatch between the two shades if you find that helpful. So that's one full pump. I'm just gonna do, I have some friends here, got some pimples. Look at that big pimple, like why? So yeah, this color is a little too dark. Just keep that in mind. Like yesterday I used this color with a NYX foundation mixer in white to lighten it up, and I thought it was perfect. So CoverGirl foundations also tend to oxidize a little bit, so keep that in mind as well when you're picking a shade. So I'm just gonna use this. It's not a beauty blender. This is actually from Equate from Walmart. It comes in a pack of 3 or 4 sponges, and it was only $5. I did a review on them. I will link it below. I always forget to link videos, so if I forget, just remind me. But it's super squishy. It's wet, and it really increased in size quite a bit after wetting it. So anyway, let's go ahead and apply this onto my face. And I already have like a kind of primer moisturizer on my face. I use the It Cosmetics Feel the Moment Anti-Aging Ultra Hydrating Sensory Awakening Primer Serum. I'm just about done with this. I love this stuff so much. I have another one, but I use that pretty much daily right now. Trying to use it up, and I just really love the way it makes my skin feel and look. So I did apply that prior to putting this on my face. So it does say full coverage. Definitely not full coverage with the sponge. The sponge really does shear it out, as you can see. So that's kind of one layer right there. Bring it down my neck a little bit because we don't want too much color difference between my neck and my face. So you can definitely still see my pimples popping through. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side with a brush. For this, I'm gonna use the BDELLIUM Tools 957 brush. One of my new favorites for foundation. It's just like a flat top kabuki type brush. And you know what? I need a headband. Got these cute little headbands from Ross. They came in gold, rose gold, and silver. And they just have like a little bow. They're super cute. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of this foundation on this side of my face. Definitely gonna add a little bit more after I do this first layer here. Okay. So on this first application, it's definitely not full coverage. Every time I use it, I really don't feel like it's full coverage. I would say medium. You can use a light coverage, but it also can build to medium, but I don't ever think it's fully full coverage. I mean, obviously you can build it up with any foundation, but off the bat, it's, I would say medium coverage. You can see a little bit of my redness around my nose. I have a sunspot there. So I do like the way that it looks on the skin. It does look very natural. It is very lightweight. The one thing I will say that I don't like about it is the scent. It has like a floral smell, very perfumey floral scent. Now it does dissipate throughout the day. So once my makeup's like on, I don't smell it anymore, but like upon initial application, I do smell it and I really don't like the scent. I'm not a fan of floral scents. If you've been following me for a while, you know this. I just don't like when like foundations are scented like this. I just don't like when they put a fragrance in them. So I'm not crazy about the scent of it, but it does go away after I put on my makeup. So not too much of an issue. I just don't like it initially when I smell it. So that's what it looks like. Very natural, very lightweight, medium coverage. So I feel like the coverage maybe is a little less with the brush side only because I think I had less product on that side of my hand. Definitely like to build it up like in this area here. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. So I'm gonna pump one more pump out and I'm just gonna go in with the Beauty Blender again on the one side. Just build it up. So you can definitely see that it's building up nicely. It's very easy to blend out as well. Gonna dot a little bit more on those pimples. Darn pimples. It's probably because I'm gonna start my menstrual cycle here soon. Yay, good times. All right, so that is the second layer on that side of my face. You can see it gives a little bit of radiance to the skin, which I like. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply, I think I'm gonna need a little bit more on this side because I used up almost all of it. The pumps are pretty small, like a full pump is a pretty small amount. So I'm just gonna go ahead and build it up over here. So I've been mostly using this foundation with a brush just because I feel like lately I've been very lazy to wet my sponges. And I do like the way it applies with the brush, but today I feel like I like it better with the Beauty Blender. But it looks pretty much the same, I feel. It almost looks exactly the same on both sides. It looks like, so I think it looks really good. Coverage is definitely heavier than the first application, but I still wouldn't say it's totally full coverage. I mean, I can still see that little red spot there, which is driving me kind of crazy. But we'll fix that with some concealer. And then you can see these pimples, you can see the redness from them still. This Mama Jam over here is huge. So yeah, that's what it looks like upon application. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup and then I will be back. So I did put a little bit of Shape Tape concealer under my eyes. Just a very small amount here on my nose and a tiny bit of my chin just to kind of help even out my skin because the foundation is a little bit dark. But before I finish the rest of my makeup, I just wanted to jump back on and let you guys know that it does have a very sticky texture to the skin, which I really don't like. Sometimes with more radiant or dewy foundations, they tend to do that. This one isn't totally like dewy, but it does have a little bit of radiance to it. It's not matte and it's not really dewy, maybe satin-ish. There's a bug in my room. I just saw it. Anyways, but it does feel very, very sticky. So I don't like that about it, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup and then I'll be back. All right guys, so I did the rest of my makeup. I set my face with the NYX HD Finishing Powder in Banana because this foundation is just very tacky and sticky. I still feel like it feels a little bit sticky even though I set it with powder. So I feel like this foundation you have to set, especially if you're gonna use a powder blush and bronzer over it, because it's just gonna skip and stick to the foundation and look very patchy if you don't. So I set it with that powder, and I did not put any highlight on today just because I do have these breakouts. I don't wanna increase the texture on my skin, have a breakout there. I just have lots of little friends. I feel like this foundation may have broken me out. I've been wearing it all week, and I did have all these pimples appear out of nowhere. So might be the foundation, might not be the foundation. I'm also like a week before my menstrual period, so you know how that goes. Could have some breakouts because of that. I might try to film little clips of how it wears throughout the day. So it's currently 2:16 p.m. I'm not gonna be able to come in my makeup room with my toddler. She would get into everything. She loves this room, and I can't bring her in here. She will destroy the place. So I'm not gonna be able to come in here and film like check-ins for you guys, and I don't have a whole lot going on today, so I feel like it's kind of pointless, but I will try to insert little clips from my iPhone to let you see how it's wearing throughout the day. I'll try to wear it as long as possible today because it's already kind of a late start. So I've worn this several times, probably for 2 weeks off and on, and I've worn it through my 10-hour workday at work. By the time I put on my foundation and get home at night and wash my face, it's usually 12 to 14 hours with it on. So I feel like I like the way that it looks initially. I think it looks really good. It looks just kind of a little bit radiant on the skin, kind of natural. It is lightweight, but I don't like the sticky feel of it. That's the only thing besides the scent that I'm not too crazy about, but it blends out beautifully. Let me just give you a little comparison of 710 Classic Ivory and 725 Buff Beige. I do like to use 725 Buff Beige better because it does have more of a yellow undertone. It's just a better color match for me, but it is a little bit too dark. So normally I like to mix the Pro Foundation Mixer by NYX. This is in white. I mix that in there to lighten it up a little bit, and I think the color match is pretty good. So I'm glad they have these foundation mixers these days. This is 710 Classic Ivory, and then this is 725 Buff Beige. You can see Buff Beige is definitely more yellow. This one looks a little bit more pinky, almost a little peachy, and I definitely feel like this foundation does oxidize. When I've worn 710 Classic Ivory, definitely gets a little bit darker throughout the day, which I don't like. And because it had more of a pinky, a little bit peach undertone, I really didn't like the shade that it kind of turned into once it did oxidize. It was more apparent that it didn't match my skin, like my neck area. So I prefer Buff Beige for sure mixed with the white foundation. So that one matches me better, but it does oxidize, so just keep that in mind. You might want to go a shade lighter or mix it with a foundation mixer in white. Overall, I do really like this foundation. I feel like I like it best when I'm not going to wear it for like 10 to 12, 14 hours. I feel like 8-hour day, it wears pretty good. So I have been getting a little bit oily in my T-zone just because it's getting very hot here in Arizona. And in the summer months, my skin does tend to get a little bit more on the oily side, just a little bit, not like crazy oily like it used to be years ago. But I do feel like the foundation wears best about 8 hours. More than that, I start to see that it's breaking down, especially in my T-zone area where I get a little bit oily. So if you're super oily, I'm not sure how well this would wear on you, like how long it would hold up. I do feel like it would break down. If you have more normal to dry skin, I think you would like this foundation. So I'm really enjoying it. I will definitely continue to use it. I like that it has SPF 20. You get 1 fluid ounce. Again, it was between $8.99, $12.99, depending where you purchase it. It does have vitamins E, B3, and B5. And I do like how it has a little bit of radiance to it and it's not completely matte. And it is oil-free. So if you guys have tried this foundation, let us know your thoughts down below. And again, if I do film any like clips of how it wears throughout the day, I will insert like time slots with those clips at the end of the video. All right guys, so I'm doing my first check-in. It is now about 6 o'clock. I will do a little title insert. It will automatically put the time that I filmed this clip in the video. So I'm just doing this little check-in. There's my daughter. We match. I did change my shirt, by the way, if you're wondering why my shirt's different. But the foundation's holding up really well. I'm really not oily. I mean, I feel just a hair of shine peeking through like around my nose area, but that's normal and it's holding up really well. Still see my blemishes. I mean, it hasn't broken down or anything like that. I feel like it did oxidize just a hair bit. I know that it was initially darker than the rest of my body, but you can see a difference. So I feel like it oxidized just a little bit, but not too bad at all. It doesn't look orangey or anything. So I'll try to do another check-in later. All right guys, so I'm doing another check-in, just hanging out in the backyard. It's really nice outside right now, but I wanted to do this before it gets dark. It is like 7:15-ish, and foundation's still looking pretty good. Getting a little more shiny on my nose, just very little. But other than that, I think it's looking good. It's holding up well, it's not breaking down, so thumbs up. All right guys, so it's almost 8 o'clock. I think it's like 7:53. This is going to be my last check-in. I'm ready to wash my makeup off, honestly. So foundation's still pretty much looking the same, maybe a little bit more shine there, a little bit on my nose, but nothing too crazy. I mean, I could totally blot it. It is transferring a little bit on my fingers, but not looking bad. Like I mentioned before in the like review part of the video, I feel like the foundation holds up well up to 8 hours on my skin, but I feel like past that it starts to break down a little bit. So it's kind of normal though. I mean, 8-hour mark's good, but anything past that, I feel like most foundations start to break down unless it's like super matte, full coverage or something like that. So I'm going to check off here. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.